Romans 12:1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service.
See? Holy. So pretty much present your body as a living sacrifice. The word sacrifice means to make holy. Sacra, sacred, holy. Facere, to make. So to make holy. All right? So how do you make yourself holy? By presenting your body as a living sacrifice. Because Yahushua presented himself as a living sacrifice for an example to us. So we should be able to do the same and suffer for him. Because it says that he that has suffered in his flesh has ceased from sin. All right? Go ahead.
Yep. And be not conformed to this world.
Right. And be not conformed to this world. Go ahead.
It says, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
See, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. And a lot of you individuals out there are never transformed. You take the old dude and bring him into the truth with all its baggage. You know?
Yeah, you mingling the world with the truth.
That's it.
Well, you're supposed to cast that off and come into a different form, a new form, which is in Yahushua, you know, and you have certain individuals that never took that, took that mindset of suffering and what, I can have, persecution can arise, I can lose my family, this can happen, that can happen. And over the years, they get offended and they cast it off, and they go back to that vomit because they were never born again, as Yahushua spoke about.
And that's the point, being born again. They're trying to make the old dude fit into the truth or fit the truth around the old dude, not willing to change, and it don't work. And that's why we keep saying it. Some of you guys don't understand what you're involved in. And people think that we're just saying that to boast or brag or to talk shit, but that's not the case. It's the truth. Truth is truth, man. Go ahead.
God, I'm gonna get this word.
Conform.
Conform.
Yeah, because con is with and form is form when you look it up. So with the form. So don't conform yourself or form yourself with this word, with this world, but do it for the word's sake. And he's gonna grab it real quick.
Yeah, this is for the word conform. Scouts ke matizo in the Greek. G4964. To conform oneself, example, one's mind and character to another pattern. Fashion oneself according to. It says in a strong the translation count, conform, fashion, pretty much conform to the same pattern.
Right. So basically, when you come out of this world, you become a new creature, a new man, a change of heart, a change of mind. And everything has to be changed. That's why Yahushua told Nicodemus, you must be born again. Born again means you put off the old man and you put on the new man, which is renewed in the spirit. And you do what? You live according to the newness of life, not according to the oldness of life. And you're just trying to patch it with the new one.
Yeah, it says here, fashion self according to. Like even in fashion, you put on particular clothes to have a particular style or a particular fashion that's in a trend. Well, in this case, it's that clean white garment, which represents the truth. You're supposed to take off that dirty garment, and you're supposed to put on the new garment, the pure garment, all right, and keep it spotless.
Beautiful.
Okay, until the Lord comes. All right, and these guys, what are they doing? They're taking off that garment, the pure garment, and they're putting on that dirty garment again.
Or that strange apparel.
Or even garment, they just try to clean the dirty garment.
Dang.
And because there's like a form of you believing in the truth, but you still have Jesus in your mind.
Damn.
You were never really transformed.
By the renewing of your mind.
That's it.
It begins in the mind. What did the Lord say? From the heart, man, from the abundance of the heart, man speaketh. Was that it on that? I think it's a little bit more.
Yeah, it's a little bit more. Let me just finish.
And then from there, go to James 1:27.
Con. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High.
Right. So now when you conform to the Lord and you change your ways, now you can go into the perfect understanding of what the will of the Lord is. And then you could teach others. Like the Apostle Paul told Timothy, you know, when you teach his word, make sure you teach those that will be able to teach others. Because at the end of the day, it's about, you know,
Each one teach one.
beautiful.
That's what that goes back to. Well, that's that goes back to slavery, but that goes back to the scriptures.
Mm-hmm.
You want to teach somebody that's able to teach as well. You don't want to teach nobody no bug out or somebody that's going to take the truth and not have it in their mind to pass it on.
Right.
You know, you want to teach. You want to get the student to the point to where the student now is a teacher, and that student now that's a teacher can go out and get more students, get more disciples.
Right.
You know, that's part of the business growing. And that's what the Lord wants us to do. He wants to grow the business. So you want to have somebody on a team that's a hard worker.
Right.
Right? Not somebody that's wishy-washy. All right. Or we better read the scripture out in James.
Self-sufficient. You know, be able to not have to have the titty in his mouth all the time, a pacifier in his mouth, have you holding his hand all the time. Because the teacher that taught him got to teach others also.
Yep.
So it's your job to learn this truth, to become a teacher, so that you can help carry the load.
That's it.
Yahweh said, pray to the Most High that he send laborers into his vineyard, because the harvest is plenteous, as you can see, but the laborers are few. And even among the laborers, you have lazy, you know, Judas Bumblegoat, you know, laborers. But you can't even call them laborers. You know, you got bullshit artists. You know, the dude with the thumb up his ass syndrome, hands in the pocket syndrome, sitting in the corner syndrome. You know, everything else in his life, he's working on. And then when he gets to the truth, he gets to the truth. What do you think the Most High going to do with a guy like that? With the scriptures, Yahweh Shai spoke about, he that is lukewarm will be spewed out. So that's what happened to that dude. He got spewed out because he's not a part of the elect. And not every Israelite out there is a part of the elect. So when you trying to teach every Israelite out there, you're wasting your time. All we got to do is teach the word, and when the elect hear it, they will be sealed by Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, not us. We ain't here to save anybody. We just here to teach the words that the Lord taught us in the hopes of our salvation. Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Not everybody else's salvation. They got to work on their own. You see?
James 1 said 8.
27.
27. James 1 and 27. Pure religion and undefiled before the Most High and the Father is this.
Right. That's pure worship. Go ahead.
To visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction.
And right now we're doing that by the word. Go ahead.
And to keep himself unspotted from the truth.
And from the world. That's
and
how
to keep his
Satan.
Satan
Been fucking with us all morning.
And to keep himself unspotted from the world.
Right, to keep himself unspotted from the world. Matter of fact, look up that word unspotted.
Damn.
You know? To keep himself unspotted from the world. Why? Because this world has very alluring tendencies. When the scriptures speak about seducing spirits, what do you think that was? That was foreign doctrines of this world that were very convincing, that can draw you in. You know, it's like an enticement. You know? So how do we fight that? By the scriptures. That's why the Apostle Paul said we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. Because at the end of the day, you know, he said, be ye strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. What is the power of the Lord's might? His word. That's why it says, in wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. That's how we, you know, defeat Satan. This is how we able to resist. This is how we can be unspotted from the world. Go ahead.
Yeah, that word unspotted is aspilos, spotless, metaphorically free from censor, irreproachable,
Right.
free from vice, unsullied.
Right. Unsullied meaning not dirty. You know, because sully means to dirty. Unsullied means clean, not dirty. You know, so how do you do that? By keeping yourself unspotted from this world. This world is filthy. You know, the alluring, seducing spirit of this world is filthy. We're going straight.
Yeah.
You know? So you don't want to get caught up in that. So why would you want to mingle the world with the truth? You know, why would you want to try to have the Most High fit his truth around you? Should it not be the other way around? You want to say
Yep.
something?
Down here in the strong definition, it says unblemished, physically or morally.
Right, because the Lord doesn't want a blemished sacrifice. Whenever you, matter of fact, get Malachi 1:14. Whenever you sacrifice something to the Lord, it had to be spotless. It had to be, you know, without blemish. It couldn't be like, okay, it's a beautiful lamb, everything is intact, but his left leg is messed up.
Yeah.
You know, no, the Lord ain't he looking for a perfect sacrifice. So we have to be perfect in our sacrifice. And like the elder Apostle Gabar's favorite scripture, Matthew 5:48. You know, be ye perfect as the Lord, as I the Lord am perfect. Go ahead.
Yep. This is
So the Lord don't want no blemished sacrifice. He wants a pure sacrifice.
1:13. Malachi 1:13. He said also, behold, what a weariness is it, and ye have snuffed at it, said the Lord of hosts. And ye brought that which was torn, and the lame and the sick.
Right. The Lord don't want that. He requires a perfect sacrifice. Go ahead.
It says, thus ye brought an offering. Should I accept this of your hand, said the Lord?
Right. So you brought this torn, miserable, spotted, you know, sacrifice. Should I accept this at your hands? Here it is, the Most High is perfect, but you're gonna give him some bullshit. You know, you're gonna give him some crookback sheep. You know what I'm saying?
A dwarf sheep.
A dwarf sheep. A sheep that's 2 years old that's been popped or that popped, you know, other sheep. You know? The Lord don't want that. He ain't looking for that. He's looking for the perfect sacrifice. Go ahead.
That's it.
If you want to say something.
Gone. It says, thus ye brought an offering. Should I accept this of your hand, said the Lord? But cursed be the deceiver, which hath in his flock a male, and voweth and sacrifice unto the Lord a corrupt thing.
Right. So you sacrifice a corrupt thing when you have the right thing to sacrifice to the Lord. And we have the right message. We have the right thing. We know the right things to do as far as the sacrifices to the Lord and presenting our bodies a living sacrifice. You know? So the Lord don't want no corrupt sacrifice. So if you're coming into this thing with ulterior motives, that means your heart is evil. And how great is that darkness, you know, when the Lord, you know, turns your world upside down.
Yeah, we are now the sacrifice, so that sacrifice has to be perfect. Like you were quoting Apostle Gabar's favorite scripture, be perfect as your Father is perfect. You know, so that's the we have to strive for perfection, and it's a fight to be able to do that. But you have certain guys that they reject that perfection, because to make something perfect, you have to be very tedious and you have to be very observant of what you do and how you do and what you say. You have to be disciplined. You have to be temperate. I'm gonna make it right.
Right.
You know, and guys, they don't want that discipline of the Lord. You know, they want to have their cake and eat it too. Right. Which is a wicked sacrifice.
Right.
You know, it's like you know, you had Cain sacrifice fruit. You know that the way to sacrifice has been laid down, what you should be doing. From the apostle elders on down, how you should be acting, the names that you should be calling on, the doctrine that you should be following, you know, and the warnings to warn the flock of the things that were going to come and, you know, try to disrupt you from the truth. Like we were going to, you quoted the scripture earlier, thinking not strange concerning a fiery trial. So when those strange things come, you know, they don't disrupt you from the path that you're walking, that straight and narrow. Right. Okay.
Yeah, you know, they're trying to reinvent the truth. The plan, the blueprint, the schematics are already laid out in black and white. You know, are you black or white? Inside joke. You know, but you're trying to rearrange it. You're trying to figure out a way that you can fit it around your life. Don't work like that. Then you're taking pieces and bits of the world and marrying it or trying to marry it with the truth. It don't mix. You cannot serve the table of the Most High and the table of devils. You know, you cannot serve the Most High and mammon. Because either you're going to love one or you're going to hate the other. There's never a situation where you have two masters and you can please them both equally. See?
Yeah, which basically you don't have that laser-like focus in this truth. You know, because what is to get pure focus? What is to cut out distractions?
Yep.
And this world is and these, these jakes, they come in with those distractions. They don't cut them off. And those distractions take you off the real reason why you're in the truth, which you were going in earlier. These guys really don't understand what this truth is really about.
That's it.
So this is why they take on a stance of, you know what, this is too much. Let me go back to Christianity, because in Christianity, I felt good. People accepted me.
Yep.
I had a life. I had a woman to have children. Go there.
Yep.
Everything was good. Not understanding that you're going to suffer. That's what the scriptures say. That's what the disciples, the apostles said will happen. Yep.